You can lose weight and still be dying from the inside. That sounds dramatic, but it is true. There is a type of fat you cannot see in the mirror, cannot pinch with your fingers, and cannot measure with a regular scale. It wraps around your liver, your intestines, and your other organs. It is called visceral fat, and it is not like the fat on your thighs or your arms. That fat is annoying. Visceral fat is deadly. It doubles your risk of early death. It increases your cancer risk by 44%. It drives insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and the energy crashes that make you feel tired all the time. Here is the good news. Visceral fat is also the most responsive to the right interventions. You can lose it faster than subcutaneous fat, but you cannot lose it by doing what everyone else is doing. I spent 10 weeks testing a specific protocol designed to target visceral fat. Fasted training, time-restricted eating, and strategic refueling. I measured my waist circumference, my energy levels, and my cognitive function. The results were dramatic. My waist shrank by nearly 3 inches. My afternoon energy crashes disappeared. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to lose your dangerous visceral fat, even if the scale is not moving. I spent 10 weeks testing this visceral fat loss protocol on myself. I am not a fitness fanatic. I am a normal person who, like many people over 40, noticed that my belly was getting softer and my energy was getting lower, even though my weight was stable. I was not overweight by BMI standards, but I had that dull ache in my lower back. I felt tired after lunch. I craved sugar in the afternoons. Those are signs of visceral fat accumulation. I decided to test a protocol that combined 3 evidence-based strategies: fasted morning training, a consistent eating window of 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and a focus on protein and fiber. I did not count calories. I did not starve myself. I simply changed when I ate and how I trained. After 10 weeks, my waist went from 34 inches to 31 inches. My fasting blood glucose dropped from 98 to 84. My energy in the mornings was sharper, and I stopped needing that 3 p.m. coffee. You can do this too, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly how. But first, let me ask you something. Do you have belly fat that will not go away no matter how much you diet? Do you feel tired in the afternoons, especially after eating carbs? Do you crave sugar or salty snacks between meals? Do you have a waist measurement over 35 inches if you are a woman, or over 40 inches if you are a man? Have you lost weight but your belly still looks the same? If you answered yes to any of these, you are not dealing with ordinary fat. You are dealing with visceral fat, and ordinary weight loss advice will not fix it. Here is what most people do not understand about visceral fat. Visceral fat is not the same as the fat you can see. Subcutaneous fat sits right under your skin. You can pinch it. It is annoying, but it is not particularly dangerous. Visceral fat is deep inside your abdomen. It wraps around your liver, your pancreas, your intestines, and your stomach. It is metabolically active. That means it is not just sitting there. It is constantly releasing inflammatory molecules called cytokines, free fatty acids, and hormones that disrupt your entire body. A study from the Mayo Clinic followed more than 15,000 people over 15 years. Those with high visceral fat had double the risk of early death compared to those with low visceral fat, regardless of their overall weight. Another study from the American Cancer Society found that people with high visceral fat had a 44% higher risk of developing cancer, including breast, colon, and pancreatic cancer. But here is the most disturbing part. You can have high visceral fat and look skinny. There is a condition called metabolically obese, normal weight. These people have a healthy BMI but dangerous levels of organ fat. They are not protected just because they are thin. In fact, research from the University of Alabama found that normal weight adults with high visceral fat had worse metabolic health than overweight adults with low visceral fat. So how do you know if you have too much visceral fat? The simplest proxy is waist circumference. For women, 35 inches or higher is a red flag. For men, 40 inches or higher. But you can also have dangerous levels below those numbers if you have other risk factors like high blood pressure or high blood sugar. Now let me explain why visceral fat is so hard to lose with normal dieting. Subcutaneous fat responds to insulin normally. When you eat a meal, insulin rises and tells your fat cells to stop releasing fat. That is how your body switches from burning stored energy to using the energy from your meal. Visceral fat does not listen. It is insulin resistant from the start. When you eat a meal, your subcutaneous fat shuts down its fat release, but your visceral fat keeps dumping free fatty acids directly into your portal vein, which goes straight to your liver. This constant flood of free fatty acids to your liver causes two problems. First, your liver becomes insulin resistant. It stops responding to insulin properly. Second, your liver starts producing more glucose than it should. The result is a vicious cycle. Your blood sugar stays high. Your pancreas releases more insulin. The excess insulin tells your body to store more fat, preferentially in your belly, and because your visceral fat is already insulin resistant, it just keeps growing. This is why you can eat the same calories as someone else and still gain belly fat. It is not just about calories, it is about how your fat behaves. And the only way to break the cycle is to do things that specifically target visceral fat. So what actually works? Let me tell you about the 3 most powerful interventions, all backed by research and all tested on myself. Intervention number 1. Fasted morning training. When you wake up, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. Your liver glycogen stores are low. Your insulin is low. Your body is already in fat burning mode. If you exercise in this state, you preferentially burn fat, including visceral fat. A study from the Journal of Applied Physiology found that people who performed cardio in a fasted state burned 20% more fat than those who ate before exercise. But here is the key. The fat they burned came disproportionately from visceral stores. I do not run marathons. My fasted training is simple. I do 20 minutes of brisk walking or light jogging, followed by 10 minutes of bodyweight exercises like squats and lunges. That is it. I do this 5 mornings a week before eating anything. I drink only water or black coffee. A word of caution. If you are new to exercise, do not start with intense fasted training. Begin with just 10 minutes of walking. See how you feel. If you feel dizzy or weak, eat a small snack like half a banana before exercising. Listen to your body. The goal is not to punish yourself. The goal is to gently encourage your body to use visceral fat for fuel. Intervention number 2. Time-restricted eating with an early dinner. When you eat matters as much as what you eat. Research from Dr. Courtney Peterson at the University of Alabama found that people who ate all their meals within an 8 to 10 hour window and stopped eating by 6 or 7 p.m. had significant reductions in visceral fat, blood pressure, and oxidative stress. In fact, the early time-restricted eating group lowered their blood pressure by about 10 mmHg, which is comparable to first-line blood pressure medications. Why does timing matter? Your body has a natural circadian rhythm for metabolism. In the morning and early afternoon, you are better at processing food. In the evening and at night, your body expects to be fasting. When you eat late, your body stores more of those calories as fat, and preferentially as visceral fat. Also, eating close to bedtime disrupts your sleep quality, which raises cortisol, which tells your body to store even more belly fat. My protocol was simple. I set my eating window from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That is 8 hours. I stopped eating completely by 7 p.m., no snacks after dinner. I also made sure to finish my last meal at least 3 hours before going to bed. Within 2 weeks, I noticed I was sleeping better. Within a month, my waist measurements started dropping. If 8 hours feels too restrictive, start with 10 hours. For example, eat between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. That is still better than eating from the moment you wake up until right before bed. The most important part is stopping early and consistently. Intervention number 3. Strategic carbohydrate placement. You do not need to cut carbs completely, but you do need to eat them at the right time. The worst time to eat carbs is at the end of the day. Your insulin sensitivity is lowest in the evening. That means your body is more likely to store those carbs as fat, especially visceral fat. The best time to eat carbs is around your workout, either before or after. I moved most of my carbohydrates to my lunch meal and my post-workout snack. For breakfast, which is actually my first meal at 11 a.m., I ate mostly protein and fat. Eggs, Greek yogurt, avocado. For lunch, I included a serving of complex carbs like sweet potato, quinoa, or beans. For dinner, I ate protein and vegetables with very few carbs. This simple shift meant that my body was using the carbs for energy during the day, not storing them as fat at night. A study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that eating a high-carb meal in the evening led to higher blood sugar and higher triglyceride levels the next morning compared to eating the same meal in the morning. Timing matters. Now let me tell you about the 5 most common mistakes people make when trying to lose visceral fat. Mistake number 1. Focusing only on calorie restriction. You can be in a calorie deficit, still have high visceral fat, if you are eating the wrong foods at the wrong times. Visceral fat is driven by insulin resistance, inflammation, and cortisol. Calorie restriction alone does not fix those drivers. You need to address meal timing, carbohydrate placement, and stress. Mistake number 2. Doing only steady-state cardio. Walking and jogging are good, but they are not enough to reverse visceral fat accumulation. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, is significantly more effective at reducing visceral fat because it improves insulin sensitivity and increases growth hormone. You do not need a gym. Do 30 seconds of fast walking or jogging, followed by 30 seconds of recovery. Repeat 10 times. That takes 10 minutes. Add this to your routine twice a week. Mistake number 3. Not getting enough sleep. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol and makes your body store fat, preferentially in your belly. A study from Wake Forest University found that people who slept 5 hours or less per night gained significantly more visceral fat over 5 years compared to those who slept 7 to 8 hours. You cannot out-exercise bad sleep. Protect your sleep. Mistake number 4. Chronic stress without management. Cortisol is a fat storage hormone, and it specifically drives visceral fat accumulation. If you are constantly stressed, your body thinks it is in danger and holds on to belly fat for energy reserves. You need a stress management practice. It does not have to be meditation. It can be a 10-minute walk, deep breathing, listening to music, or even laughing, but you have to do something. Mistake number 5. Eating too close to bedtime. This is one of the most overlooked factors. When you eat late, your body releases less melatonin. You sleep worse, your insulin sensitivity is lower, and you store more fat. Stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to bed. That is non-negotiable for visceral fat loss. Now let me answer the 5 most common questions people ask about losing visceral fat. Question 1. Can I lose visceral fat without losing weight? Yes. Visceral fat is more metabolically active and often responds to lifestyle changes before subcutaneous fat. It is possible to lose inches from your waist while the scale barely moves. That is a victory. Do not let the scale discourage you. Question 2. Do I need to do intermittent fasting? Not necessarily. The key is time-restricted eating, not full-day fasting. Eating within an 8 to 10 hour window and stopping early is enough. You do not need to skip entire days of eating. That can actually backfire by raising cortisol. Question 3. What about menopause and visceral fat? Women over 50 are particularly vulnerable. Estrogen tells your body to store fat subcutaneously on your hips and thighs. When estrogen drops during perimenopause and menopause, fat storage shifts to the belly. This is not your fault, but it does mean you need a more aggressive approach. Fasted training, time-restricted eating, and stress management become even more important. A study from the Journal of Women's Health found that postmenopausal women who followed a time-restricted eating protocol lost significantly more visceral fat than those who only reduced calories. Question 4. How long until I see results? Most people notice a decrease in waist circumference within 4 weeks. Significant reductions in visceral fat as measured by DEXA scan take 8 to 12 weeks. Be patient. This fat took years to accumulate. You cannot lose it in a week. Question 5. Can I drink alcohol? Alcohol is processed by your liver. Drinking alcohol while trying to lose visceral fat is like trying to drain a bathtub while leaving the faucet on. Alcohol increases insulin resistance, raises cortisol, and provides empty calories that your body preferentially stores as belly fat. If you want results, cut alcohol completely for 8 weeks. Then reintroduce occasionally. Now let me give you a practical 10-step protocol to lose dangerous visceral fat. Step 1. Measure your waist. Use a tape measure at the level of your belly button. Breathe out. Do not suck in. Write down the number. This is your baseline. Step 2. Set your eating window. Choose an 8-hour window that ends at least 3 hours before bedtime. For example, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Stick to it every day. Step 3. Stop eating after dinner. No snacks, no dessert, no late-night refrigerator raids. If you are hungry, drink water or herbal tea. Step 4. Train fasted in the morning. Within 30 minutes of waking, do 10 to 20 minutes of movement, a brisk walk, light jogging, bodyweight squats and lunges. Do not eat before. Structure your meals. Breakfast, first meal, protein and fat only. Lunch, protein, vegetables and complex carbs. Dinner, protein and vegetables, minimal carbs. Step 6. Add 2 HIIT sessions per week. After your fasted walk, do 30 seconds of high-intensity effort, then 30 seconds rest. Repeat 10 times. That is 10 minutes. Step 7. Protect your sleep. Go to bed at the same time every night. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. No screens for 1 hour before bed. Step 8. Manage stress. Pick one stress reduction activity and do it daily. 5 minutes of deep breathing, a short walk outside, listening to music. Something. Step 9. Track progress weekly. Measure your waist every Monday morning. Do not weigh yourself daily. That will drive you crazy. Weekly waist measurements tell you more. Step 10. Be consistent but flexible. If you have a late dinner one night, do not panic. Just get back on schedule the next day. Perfection is not required. Consistency over time is what matters. Let me quickly recap the 3 interventions, the 5 mistakes, the 5 questions, and the 10 steps. Intervention 1. Fasted morning training. Burns visceral fat preferentially. Intervention 2. Time-restricted eating with early dinner. Lowers insulin, blood pressure, and inflammation. Intervention 3. Strategic carbohydrate placement. Carbs around workouts, not at night, mistakes. Calorie restriction only steady-state cardio, poor sleep, unmanaged stress, eating late at night, questions. Weight loss without scale movement, necessity of if, menopause, timeline, alcohol. Steps: measure waist, set eating window, stop late eating, train fasted, structure meals, add HIIT, protect sleep, manage stress, track weekly, be consistent. Visceral fat is not a cosmetic problem. It is a health crisis hiding in plain sight. It drives heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and dementia. But it is also the most reversible form of fat. Your body wants to let it go. You just have to give it the right signals. Fasted movement, early dinners, strategic carbs, sleep, stress management. These are not complicated. They are not expensive. They are just choices you make every day. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to start. Measure your waist tonight. Set your eating window for tomorrow. Go for a fasted walk in the morning. That is it. One day at a time. If this video changed how you see belly fat, hit like so. Winds of thought can bring you more science of the body you inhabit. And comment below. What is your waist measurement today? Or if you are not ready to share, comment, I am starting tomorrow. Your body has been waiting to let go of this dangerous fat. Start today. Send this video to someone who needs to hear it. Your friend who is skinny but has a belly. Your parent who has given up on their health. Your coworker who crashes every afternoon. Their bodies are not broken. They just need the right protocol. You do not need expensive supplements. You do not need extreme diets. You need fasted mornings, early dinners, and consistency. Your visceral fat is not permanent. Start today.